Hey, how's it going, everybody? I guess I'll start the stream off by just saying that we'll be giving away the t-shirt towards the end. And in order to get the shirt, you'll want to comment on the episode about ML Engine. So if you haven't done that already, there's still time to go over there and comment, and then I'll pull all those via the YouTube API, and we can pull the winner that way. So in this live stream, more than anything, is what I want to show you is basically my video production process. So there's quite a few steps involved in it, and I think it's probably quite a bit different than most other content creators' process, but not 100% sure on that. Let's see, before we get to that, just had a couple things that I wanted to go over. So yeah, just making sure, checking the chat. If anything's off with the audio, let me know, but looks like we're good. Let's see here. So yeah, all the stickers we gave out on the live stream, those went out. They went out this weekend. It was a federal holiday here on Monday, so if you're in the United States, they should probably still get to you this week. And then if you're international, kind of depends on the postal service, but yeah, I imagine you should have them probably sometime next week would be my guess. Let's see here. Let's see. Other than that, I think I mentioned this last time, but I'm working on a chat feature for the Ionic course. So that'll be an extended module on that course. So you'll get it'll probably be roughly 10 to 20 videos added with a whole nother feature module with a bunch of new stuff in it. And then that's underway, I would say probably about hopefully sometime next week, but I can't really say for sure at this point. All right, cool. So yeah, I'll first just get into, well, there's a couple good questions that I'll go ahead and answer first before I forget. First one is from Henry, and he's asking, let's see, where do you find your inspiration? And for inspiration, I generally find most of it from our Slack channel because I'm constantly getting just a steady flow of ideas from people, and people have different requirements, different problems that they run into that really help me come up with ideas. So, I very much value those suggestions and try to put them into the end product that you see on the channel. But aside from that, like other things happen in the web development community that give me inspiration as well. Like the Edge browser just recently announced support for web components. So now would probably be a good time to start doing some web component content. Let's see here. So interested in how does the production versus post-production look. You'll kind of see that once we get into the video, but yeah, trying to go, okay, tea or coffee, spaces or tabs. Generally coffee in the morning and then tea in the afternoon. And then when I'm writing code, I usually use tabs because it's a little bit faster. And then I just have my VS Code reformat it to spaces because spaces are generally better for sharing code between people. Okay, cool. So I'm going to go, FlameLink video. Yeah, FlameLink's a really cool product. It's kind of like if you had a Contentful service, like a content as a service API, but instead you host the database through Firebase, which is a much more efficient way to go. And you could actually build a content management system yourself using Firebase. You could use Realtime DB or Firestore. And that's actually what I'm doing myself for this upcoming Fireship product. So if you guys are interested, I can kind of show you how to build your own content management system using Firebase from scratch, which is, I don't know, I think a pretty cool project. But we can maybe talk about that one later. Let's see. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to a screen share, and then we'll start looking at the actual video stuff. And okay, so I just want to make sure that looks good on your end. What I'm actually looking at here is the very first video that I ever produced, and I was just kind of curious to look at it because this is going about 140 episodes in the past, back in April 2017. And you can see here, I'm not even using VS Code at this point. I was still using the Atom text editor, which I really liked from prior development, when it first came out, it was an awesome IDE, but VS Code's like just completely surpassed it in features. But the video really is kind of not very good. I mean, it's 2 minutes long and it's does some good things that I like, but overall it's, not a great video. So I think with video production, it really is something that you start out not being very good at, and then you just learn small things along the way and slowly make the video content that you're making better with each video that you produce. So that's, definitely an important concept to keep in mind. So starting with the process, the first thing I do is I come up with an idea. And like I said, I get those ideas maybe from Slack or from just the web development community in general. So for everyone on the live stream, this is kind of a preview of the next video that's coming out tomorrow. And I have all new graphics for the video itself. So you'll start seeing these different kind of cover styles on the video. So usually I, start thinking about how I want to present the content. So I might put together some graphics that look like this. And then the primary amount of the work is actually writing the code. So I spend a lot more time writing the actual code that goes into a demo than I do in producing the video. So we'll go ahead and start there. And the one thing you'll notice in my videos is that I have a different style of showing code than you probably see on any other channel. I've never seen it anywhere else. But instead of like typing everything keystroke by keystroke, I do it in a faster way that's a little more efficient for me to produce and a little more efficient for me to voice over the code when I'm producing the video. And the way I do that's actually really simple. So like, imagine I have this code block here. I can delete things just line by line in reverse in the way that I want to show it. So I'll delete all this stuff. And then from that point, everything's copied to the clipboard. So I can just do Control Z and then have everything reappear on the screen, kind of like magic. Like it's a really simple thing, but a lot of people have asked me, how do I do this? And it's really that simple. So what I do is, like right now I'm on Windows, but I have a Linux machine installed side by side on the system. And so I'll write out the code in Linux and I'll record all the code screencast over there. And then I'll upload those to Google Drive. And the next step is to import all that footage into Adobe Premiere. So what you're looking at here is Adobe Premiere. And this is kind of like just a quick preview of tomorrow's video. One thing I started doing is I'm trying to like make the intros a little more interesting. Instead of just showing the same intro every video, I have a different background and then embed the intro video content like somewhere in that image. So we can actually split these layers apart and you'll see that the intro is right there. And then we have the actual image with a mask over it. So it's transparent on the screen. And then you can kind of layer things together to make the video footage a little more interesting. Let's see here. So the overall process of making a video in my case is after I have all the footage shot, I'm going to go in here and do the voiceover like pretty much sentence by sentence. At this point in the channel, like I really try to refine the voiceover content to be pretty like consistent and clear throughout the video. So you can see here I've like sliced different pieces of voice content. And we're just kind of going through the video in a linear way. And to give you another preview of what's coming out tomorrow is I have another shirt giveaway for that video. So that's kind of an early preview of what you'll see tomorrow. Let's see, another thing that I think is really important is having good audio. So you like definitely want to have really solid audio for the intro and the outro, but one thing I learned is you probably don't want the audio going through the whole video because it is kind of annoying for some people. And I've noticed when I listen to videos that have constant audio, it does get a little annoying. But you should definitely spend a lot of time if you're making video content, figuring out the best audio to use. See, I'm going to take a break and just check out the chat here really quick to see if there's some questions I can grab. Let's see, Virus, any hope of that we'll see any videos for Flutter? There is definitely hope. I don't have a timeline for Flutter yet, but I've done quite a bit of development with Flutter and would feel comfortable producing videos at this point, but I've just got a little too much on my plate, probably for the next month, but before I can really focus on creating Flutter content. Let's see, how to connect MySQL PHP with Angular 6. That's probably a topic you'll never see, is MySQL PHP on this channel. Did I come up with the graphics myself? That's a good question, because another thing with video production is, like, this graphic you're seeing here on the intro is a highly customized version of a template. So if you're looking for good templates for your video content, the go-to place for pretty much everybody is VideoHive. I actually already have this pulled up right here, because you'll find all kinds of like pre-built transitions and intros and like logo stings and stuff like that you can kind of use as a starting place for producing your video content. And a lot of these, like, the actual creators are people working in Hollywood that are doing these, big budget films that then go and resell their work to be reused in the secondary market like this. In a lot of cases, there's been thousands of hours of effort from real video professionals going into them. So, to spend $100 on some pre-built stuff is usually well worth the investment. Let's see here. Let's see. Can you try something on web scraping? Web scraping is a good topic. I've considered doing that with Puppeteer specifically. Puppeteer is a little bit slower for web scraping, but a nice benefit of it is that you can scrape JavaScript sites. So you can like scrape content on an Angular app by just waiting for it to render all the content. Which mic do I use? I use this really crappy mic, just an Audio-Technica USB mic. I've been thinking about upgrading for quite a while, and I think I've started to notice some like technical issues with this mic, so I'll probably be upgrading that pretty soon. For screen capturing, I use a really simple program called Simple Screen Recorder on Linux. I'm using Ubuntu version 18.04. See, do you write a script or do you just look over what you've done and try to explain it? So when I first started the channel, I wrote a script and I would write all the content in advance and try to just read over that script. It turns out that, in my opinion, is not a very good way to do things. So what I generally do is try to write like an outline for an article, and make that blog post article first, and then do the voiceover in a linear way, like I was showing you in Adobe Premiere, based on how I think the video should flow as I'm doing it. So I don't know if you can hear the sound here, but so I'm not sure if you guys could hear that sound in Premiere, but I basically go through the video step by step and kind of go back and re-listen to things and try to make it as refined as possible. And I don't think you can really do that in a efficient way by writing a script. It's definitely possible, but you need a lot of work, a lot of extra work that I think would just be inefficient. The other program I use is Adobe After Effects. So After Effects is a program that you would use more for one-off graphics. So like, say I want to show a logo intro, I have this pixel storm animation, and I can just export this single scene and then bring it into Premiere for the entire video process. So this is a super useful program as well. These are I'm generally going back and forth between the two of these depending on how many animations I have in a given video. Let's see, I'm trying to think of what else I can show you here on the video side of things that, I don't know, hopefully that gives you a general idea of the overall process that I go through. Let's see. Yeah, just going back to the comments here to see what I can grab out of here. Do I actually contribute to Angular? I don't really contribute to Angular. I contribute to the Firebase JavaScript SDK and also Angular Fire 2. But I think I've made like one commit to Angular, and that's about it. At this point, I would like to contribute to open source projects more, but I find that I just generally don't have the time to like go in and do bug fixes and stuff like that on these huge open source projects. Like Angular is this massive mono repo, so you have quite a bit of setup to even like get started contributing. Let's see. Some videos about React Native. React Native is something I might consider covering in the future. I think it does offer some advantages over other like hybrid app frameworks, but right now it's not a super high priority or anything like that. How do you prepare yourself for a subject? The best way to prepare for a subject is to already have built something roughly related to it. Like in a lot of cases, I've already built certain features for clients, and I can draw from that experience because I know like what problems you're going to run into and what issues you're going to find, and just try to really format that into something that's useful that a developer can use to get past these problems quicker. Did you buy Adobe? Yeah, so I pay like $50 a month for access to Adobe Creative Cloud. That'll get you access to pretty much everything you need. So if you're producing a lot of videos, that's just a minor expense. Okay, cool. So yeah, I'm just going through the comments here, guys. How do you get out of your Angular comfort zone? I'm afraid to use other frameworks. That's a really good question. I think in development in general, you should usually try to be a more general developer. Like you want to be a JavaScript, call yourself a JavaScript developer rather than an Angular developer. It's good to have some specialties, but you definitely want to be like have those general skills under your belt. So you should know how things work with JavaScript kind of at a more fundamental level. Because once you know that, it becomes really easy to just jump from Angular to React to Vue, because you know what the underlying JavaScript is doing rather than like just trying to work within the constraints of a framework. And typically also on that same note, like if you're looking for a job, they're going to generally be asking you to code things in vanilla JavaScript, like algorithms and basic programming stuff. So if you're, on the job market, you're going to want to be, well brushed up on that type of code. What is the screen resolution? So screen resolution is, I record the videos in 1080p, so HD, but then I export all the animations in 4K. So I have the videos are all done in 4K. That's the final export. And let's see, education background. So I actually have a business degree in finance. I had originally thought I wanted to be an accountant, and then I decided that programming was a lot more fun, and essentially just became a self-taught programmer at that point and got a job doing like PHP, MySQL stuff, and then did a lot of Ruby on Rails for a number of years, and now really focused on mostly full stack JavaScript. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I think that's enough questions for now. I think now it's time we should go ahead and give away the t-shirt. If I wasn't able to get to your question, leave me like a comment or leave the question on Slack, because a lot of these I could answer in a future live stream. But let's go ahead and pull up our script and we'll give away this free t-shirt. Let's see here. So this is the script. We've looked at it before. It's taking this video ID, pulling all the comments from the YouTube API, and then it will pick a single winner from that group. All right, so all I have to do is click this button, and then that will give us our t-shirt winner. So here we go. All right, Samuel Camargo, you were index 31 out of 125 comments. Keep up the good work, excellent content. Thank you for the comment, really appreciate it. And congratulations on winning the t-shirt. To get the shirt, if you're on Slack, send me a message on Slack with your address and size. Otherwise, send me a direct message via email or whatever works for you. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and stop screen sharing here. Oh, if a person comments multiple times, they're actually we check for uniqueness. So let me see if I can get to this in the code. Yeah, that's something that I thought of. If multiple people comment, then they should only have the same chance to win as everybody else. So I use this unique by function to check their channel ID value, and that will just make sure that every person that commented has to have a unique Google account. All right, so I guess I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the stream here. Like I said, if you have more questions, I'll try to get to these next time, but this was fun, and there's going to be another t-shirt giveaway on the next video, so make sure to check that out and leave a comment, and we'll do the same thing next week. All right, thanks a lot, everybody, and I'll talk to you soon. See ya.